And now, making herstory, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The choice recommended you get it on. Max Patterson studio.
Hello.
And Adam Ray's going to be showing up in a couple of few. He's running a little bit late. So as soon as he comes in, we'll bring him up here because we're going to get into the AVN Awards. Dawson won out there, got some tape, talked to some ladies and some gents.
He's our investigative journalist.
Yeah, and we'll break into that, but we figure we'll save that for when Adam Ray comes in. All right.
Speaking of AVN, too, Kyle MacLachlan's coming on, and I imagine you're going to bring up Showgirls.
I have to, because that's one of the greatest movies of all time. So Showgirls should be seen by everyone, and if they've seen it, they should see it again. But he was a big part of that. And Sex and the City, of course, he was all over that. But, I mean, I'm looking at his...
Twin Peaks is what most people would know him from.
Yeah, Dune, he was in that movie. Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet was a big movie when it came out. The Doors. That's right. Wait a minute. I love The Doors. Showgirls, of course.
Portlandia.
What was he? We got to look up his role in The Doors. If he's a promoter, he wasn't in the band. Well, I'm trying to picture everyone in the band. No. Yeah, The Doors. I love The Doors. All right, so he's been in everything, and he'll be in this show too.
He was in the band. He was Ray Manzarek.
Oh, he played Ray Manzarek. Oh,
yeah.
That's right. God, he melted into the role. That's such a crazy. I mean, that movie with Oliver Stone and Val Kilmer should have won an Academy Award for Doors. Val Kilmer was Jim Morrison. He just was. He just became that guy. And I don't know who beat him out, but he did not win the Academy Award, and now he's gone, and he never won an Academy Award, and he should have. I mean, the idea that he was that pop singer and Top Secret, and then, 2 years later was doing The Doors and stuff. Val Kilmer, man, that's an interesting cat who's, I think, passed very recently. And we'll find that out. Now, I want to hit an important subject, which is frothers. I didn't know what a frother was 10 minutes ago, and now I can't live without a frother.
You use it a lot here.
I am froth-centric. I end up putting shit in the drink, in the coffee. You put the protein stuff or the collagen or whatever, and I froth away. We're going to have to do something about frothers. We're going to have, so you end up getting these cheap frothers. That's that spinning wheel that foams up your drink, right? There's a problem with frothers. The cheap ones have an on-off switch. That's a disaster. As a matter of fact, I think Big Frother is in cahoots with Big Paper Towel. Because you drop the thing in, you hit the button, it goes on, it starts at 10. It's like, and then you got to get the Bounty to mop up the countertop. It's like blenders that have the 10 speeds, but the last 3 speeds will throw everything in the blender out of the blender.
Yeah.
Why have that setting is what I'm saying. Like, so that your blender will vomit all over your kitchen. Why?
Hit the ceiling.
And sometimes it's on that setting and you turn the blender on and it just blows up everywhere. I was keen to this. Very young. I could remember babysitting my neighbor, Adam. And that's right, I had a little kid next door named Adam. I would get $1 an hour and I would babysit him. And it was great for me because I was 14, and it's not like my dance card was full for a Friday night. I didn't have any dates. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a moped. I had nowhere to go. But my neighbors, unlike my house, had a color TV set, like 27 inches. We were rocking the 13-inch Zenith, black and white. And they had a fridge full of food. And they had a pantry.
Pantry access.
I didn't even know what a pantry was. My kitchen was so small that house I grew up in, and all the houses I grew up in, they had cupboards, but they didn't have a pantry, like a place where all the good shit was.
The dry goods, yeah.
But this would be marshmallows and pie filling, and I would open the pie filling and put mini marshmallows and Toll House cook, and I'd make a pudding out of it. Yeah, and so I would go next door, and I would babysit from 8 o'clock to midnight, and I would make $4. But that was good for me, and I would watch color TV and eat whatever was in the fridge. Until at a certain point, they very embarrassingly, I mean, for me, sort of admonished me, like, you got to take it easy. like I remember once there was a whole turkey in there for like the next day they were going to eat the whole turkey, and they're like, Adam, you can't get into that turkey.
No shame.
Yeah, they knew I would clean out whatever's in there. I was a crazed raccoon, and the world was my dumpster, and I was on the prowl for food all the time. So I would go over there. The kid would be asleep most of the time when I got there, so I was just like, all right.
Even better.
Better. And I would just plop my ass down. No, go to the fridge, start pulling out everything, go to the pantry, start pulling out everything. And then I would just sit there and turn on TV on a Friday night, and I would watch Charlie's Angels and Fantasy Island and Vegas and Love Boat, like all those shows. And every like 8th episode of all the mystery, action, whatever shows from the 70s and into the 80s, but especially on Charlie's Angels, because it'd be exciting because they'd be trying out to be a cheerleader for the Rams or something, and there'd be a locker room scene. You know, they'd be working at a club at some health spa or something, and there'd be a locker room scene. And that was the big deal, to see them shower. But, you know, they would close the door, but you could see their head, you know, and their shoulders, and you knew they were naked. And that was a big deal. And then they'd put the towel up top, you know, and at some point, they'd go into the sauna or the steam room. It didn't matter. And while Jill or Chris or Kelly was in there, you'd see a set of mysterious hands like put a spoon or bar or something something in front of the sauna door so they couldn't get out. Mm-hmm. And then they would turn the heat up, and they would turn the heat, 110, 120, 130, and they'd turn it to skull and crossbones, like you're roasting a chicken. And even when I was 12, I would go, why would you make a sauna that was capable of killing a person? Like, why not? It would seem like you're opening yourself up to litigation by having this thing go all the way up till death.
Yeah.
Skull and crossbones.
Why is that an option?
I had that scene in my head early, and then I started thinking about that with blenders. Why do we have an option, a button I can push, it'll send every ounce of daiquiri that's in this thing onto the ceiling? And now I feel that way with frothers. Frothers, the cheap ones, you just push a button in, click it.
It's like a handheld.
Yes, and it goes nuts. And then you try to click, but it's too late. Everything's out.
Do you click before dipping? Because you got to dip first.
You got to dip and then click and then froth. But the cheap ones, it's an on-off switch, and it'll stay on. Then I started thinking back on my days as a carpenter. And what it was is tools had on-off switches, like the first generation of routers, wood routers. Like, I'm going to take this carbide tip Roman OG bit and put it into the side of this rail here. I'm going to put this design. Like, I'm going to route it or round it over, chamfer, bearing bit. Back in the old days, they'd have these like 3 horsepower routers, like these big mega things. And there's just a switch on the top, and you click it, and the thing would go nuts. It's like, and would try to pull out of your hand.
Like a fire hose. Yeah,
like a fire hose. And as I've told you guys, one time I had to drill a big hole for a stereo cabinet I was building for somebody. It had to be like an 1 3/4 hole. And all I had was this flat paddle bit, and I couldn't find a drill, so I put it in the chuck of the router, and I was going to try it, and I hit the switch, and it went, bop! And the bit just helicoptered around. It didn't go straight. It flipped to right angle and just started spinning around, and I threw it.
Yeah.
Because it would have stabbed me in the head and killed me if it popped out of the chuck. So then, and all tools were that way. Then some genius invented a progressive switch. It was like the accelerator to a car. Imagine a car just being on full throttle. Like, no, you would feather it. You would press it down and you would go faster and feed more
And
power.
it's non-latching.
Didn't latch. And progressive. So then routers got progressive switches now where you could start it slow, get it moving, and then speed it up as you need to. But you could control the power with a progressive switch. That's what frothers. They need a progressive switch. They should all have progressive switch. We have the technology. The cheap ones that come with the mug and come with the machu sauce or whatever powder, that's just a click. 1-1, but we need one with a progressive switch, and then you could drop it in and you could slowly start getting it going and you could get it moving, and as it started to bubble over the top, you could back off the switch, let the switch go, but slow back down again. Then you could speed it up, but it wouldn't be bang on coffee everywhere. So Byron, you have to see if there's a frother with a progressive switch, because there should be. We have one here where you hold the switch down, and if you let it go, it stops.
It's just, so non-latching.
Which is helpful, but it's not progressive.
Right, I want the pressure to indicate.
Progressive, it's like 15 RPM. Let's move it up to 50 RPM. Let's get it up to 150 RPM.
Yeah.
There should be high-end frothers should have progressive switches.
I've been drinking my coffee all wrong. I need a custom frother that
with a progressive switch. Yes.
I didn't think you could improve the frother.
Well, you can't.
And I haven't seen a frother that looks like it was worth more than $8.
They have nicer ones versus cheap all black, one black button that pops in and stays in. Oh, we have Chris going into the sauna. I was so in love. I was so in love with Cheryl Ladd when I was 13. Oh, my God. She's in the sauna. Uh-oh. Somebody's
padlock.
Now, I don't know why you if you have a club and you have a sauna, why do you have a hasp? I mean, literally like a lock from a gate that you could put a padlock on there. Like, again, now the steam's getting hot. I wish saunas worked this fast. Steam room. And you notice the thing was turned all the way up to danger. I'm saying I don't think they would have danger.
No.
You know what I would do if I was working at that club and I saw Cheryl Ladd's head, like undressed with her head poked out, going open up? I'd be like, what do I get? Yeah, like I think I could pick this lock, but
let's negotiate.
What would it, like a BJ? Like what would that be worth? Like your life?
Right.
You know what I mean? You're already naked. You're kind of lathered up. Yeah.
We'll just punch a hole first.
That was we'll do a glory hole and I'll violate it. So that's how I grew up. I grew up watching Cheryl Ladd in a sauna.
That's hot. She looked good sitting there. Just the towel, pink towel.
She was good looking and still is. Great set, great bod, beautiful, great at solving crime as well. Like they always solve that crime. Bosley never got into any of them. You know, never wanted to go out for drinks or anything. All right, so Adam Ray's going to be here soon. Is there such a thing? Do you think there's a frother with a progressive switch?
I'm not a frother. Maybe a handheld immersion blender. But I don't think people really cared about the froth that much.
The froth comes flying out of the cup, though. That's the problem.
Right.
The froth we get, but it's the mess.
Couldn't it just start on a low torque? Couldn't it just wind up into it so it gives you like 2 seconds to get it in there?
Well, it's in there, but yeah, it should start at a low speed. You found one with a 3-speed feature. maybe that's the frother I need. It's a 3-speed frother, and I would just start it on low and maybe work my way up. But it's one button with 3 speeds.
Right, yeah.
So that's fine. It's a slow, medium, and fast. I would go along with that.
But to turn it off, you're going to have to go through fast, even just for a millisecond.
You're right.
It needs to just be progressive.
It needs to be progressive. And like I said, if the router industry and the hand tool or the power tool industry can all go progressive switch now, I think frothers can.
So I was doing some research on the Doors and Val Kilmer. He was not nominated.
Not nominated?
What do you think that the Doors got on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, God. Well, just the way you asked the question, knowing that I love that movie so much. It was long. It was kind of ponderous.
2 hours, 15 minutes, which is standard today.
Considered long back in the day. And
1991.
1991. Well, the way you ask it, I'll say 57%.
56%.
I was way off.
I know.
Also, there was what's his name? The director,
Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone came with a lot of baggage. You know, there was a lot of political stuff with him. He was a weird guy. I don't know if this is a little before the time when they would start factoring in guys, and he was on the right side of the political stuff as well, but he was a weird guy.
Right.
This is a great movie, and Val Kilmer not.
You want to know who was nominated and who won?
Yes.
So Robin Williams was nominated for The Fisher King. Nick Nolte was nominated for The Prince of Tides. Warren Beatty for Bugsy. Robert De Niro for Cape Fear. And the winner, Anthony Hopkins for Silence of the Lambs.
All right. But none of them became... I just think it's a taller order to become someone we all know. I think if you want to play Napoleon, that's fine. We don't have a lot of footage of Napoleon. We don't really know what he sounded like. We don't really know him. But if there's a guy like Jim Morrison, and there's thousands of photographs and posters and live concert footage and talk shows and all that kind of stuff, and you just become that guy, I mean, you watch that movie, didn't question for 10 seconds that this guy was Jim Morrison. Put the weight on, did the whole thing. Not good for a nomination. That's really, I see. He was so good, I just assumed he was nominated but didn't win. Right. But Robin Williams, and
you have a pretty good chance if you do a biopic or impersonate somebody else of getting nominated. If you can really transform yourself. I mean, it's Will Smith was Richard Williams, Rami Malek for Freddie Mercury, Gary Oldman was Winston Churchill. They all won. Eddie Redmayne for Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So according to Waze, Adam Ray should be here, but he is here. Oh, I hate that part of life for him. He is here because now I think he's been here.
I'm seeing. No, he texted me just now. Parking. So
parking. Oh, okay. So we'll go let Adam Ray in, and we'll get into these AVN Awards because that was in Vegas last weekend. Dawson showed up. Dawson, maybe
what are the AVN Awards, Dawson? Just so for our audience.
They're the porn awards.
All right.
Yeah. And Dawson, that. Yeah, but it was a American Video
Adult Video Network.
Adult Video Network.
Adult Video News.
Adult Video News Awards. Adam Ray in
Perfect
studio.
time to come in.
Perfect time. Good to see you, man.
Max, what up, doggy?
All right, so we were saving this segment for you because Dawson went to the AVN Awards in Vegas.
Wow.
Interviewed some people.
Sure he did.
He dressed up. He wore a nice suit.
Really?
Who'd you get starstruck by?
Well, we can really get into this,
You
but
don't-
I kept a
Who's that
count.
guy?
I kept a count of of all the fabulous entertainers that I've expended semen to.
Oh,
And
it's a fun game.
yeah, and I got up to 34.
Wow.
And 33.
That's more than the Golden Globes.
One of them was standing right behind me in the security line, and I turned around and said hi. And then I looked right at Izzy and said, 33.
Wow.
And
that's
then
the
we had a
number.
conversation
And
about
by
it.
the way, you don't get starstruck at the AVNs. You get spunk drunk. Come on, Adam. You know the rules.
Nice.
So now, and look, is it just me?
Probably.
Are porn stars today have too many tattoos, or spitting a little too much, have fake tits? Like they're scaring me.
I thought you were just
bit.
going to go on the tattoo, like, too many piercings. The lighting's bad in the shots. No, okay, so boobs are too big and fake.
They're too. Look, I'm
Things are too
back.
shaved.
I'm back in the Christy Canyon days
Yeah.
of the natural woman with no markings, no tats. Wouldn't really know she was in porn if you saw her at the Costco.
The tattoo on the porn star is also similar to the Hitler stash ruining like mustaches for guys that just wanted that look, right?
Right.
Because now if you see a girl with a tattoo at a Dave & Buster's, I don't know about you, but Dawson and myself, I assume porn star.
Yeah, I'm looking.
You know,
it up.
No normal person gets a tattoo anymore.
Charlie Chaplin, gets a little shit for rocking the original
Yeah.
Hitler mustache.
He was pre-Hitler, right?
Pre-Hitler.
Yeah, I think he inspired.
But I'll tell you,
So Hitler copied Chaplin.
yes, but the post-Hitler guy who rocked the World War II, who rocked the Hitler mustache in the 90s.
Yeah, weird choice.
Michael Jordan.
The Hanes commercial.
Michael Jordan had a Hitler mustache. Now, it was a sort of black-on-black crime. Nobody really said much about it, but I did. I was like, what the...
It was a true test of like, how famous am I?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
the greatest of all time. I globalized the game. I was the first guy to take McDonald's, Gatorade, and Nike up a notch.
Right.
Oh,
No, it's like when Trump said, I could kill someone in Manhattan
Yes.
and get away. That's how big you are.
Do you think Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, or let's say Phil Jackson said one day in practice, Mike's like, I could do anything. I could dunk from anywhere. And then Phil Jackson's like, I bet you couldn't rock a. I don't know who that is, but no one's ever done a Phil Jackson impression. So let's all just take a step back and remind ourselves who we are and where we are. Phil Jackson goes, I bet you couldn't rock a Hitler stash.
And he's like, you want to see how fucking famous I am?
He goes, not only will I do it, I'll do it in a fucking Hanes commercial.
commercial. Yeah, Mitch
Really bumming Luke Longley out.
Mitch Kupchak couldn't have gotten away with the Hitler mustache because someone from the office, the brass would have come down and been like, hey, man, I got a Hitler mustache theory for you.
I know you do.
That's why I'm so glad you brought it up. Somebody brought it up.
Somebody brought it up.
I have this theory that when somebody in a position of power, like Hitler, like Stalin, like Fidel Castro, when these heads,
Mike Lindell,
the My Pillow guy, when these tyrannical leaders of nations start rocking facial hair, the common man rocks that facial hair.
Right.
Fidel Castro had the Fidel Castro beard, but half the fucking men had it too, right? Or Stalin, they start right. You can look at 100,000 old Nazi pictures of the tank brigade and the Tiger tank brigade, or Lufthansa is the airline, Luftwaffe, and all. You see, they'll have pictures of the whole brigade with like 30 guys. Not one Hitler mustache. Hitler is a supreme leader of this nation about to take over the world. This is an era of guys with facial hair. Nothing. Like, when...
they wanted to do their own thing or what?
Well, I think it was that bad, a piece of facial hair, that even guys who were willing to round up Jews and put them to death for him would not agree to the mustache.
Wow.
They're like, I won't go that far.
That's where they crossed the
I'll round
line.
up that family of gypsies who's caused no harm, and I'll
my
put him on
God.
a train. But I will not do this mustache.
Doesn't
it is
matter.
so bad.
It's itchy.
Narcissism. It's not going anywhere. There's
Yeah,
no
like-
level or no person immune to.
I'll guarantee before that, when like the king of Prussia had the mustache with the wax in it, half the guys, you'd go into a barber
It's a good
shop
look,
and they go,
boss.
give me
Yeah.
that look. I'll get that look. You can look at 1,000 photographs all his henchmen, you know, all the Nazi guys and Goebbels and all the architects of the propaganda, they're all hanging out.
Yeah.
There's footage. No Hitler mustache.
Do you
Now-
think Adolf Hitler would be flattered
Well, I have a theory.
if,
I got a theory.
To know that Michael Jordan rocked his stash?
yeah, or if he had an underling, just like one of his generals? Just
Well,
come
let's
up-
talk to him. Well, I would. No, I am not, for the record, about to do a Hitler impression on the show and make it popular.
I think there was this story, Adam, and you tell me.
Okay.
I think there was some guy in some brigade that started rocking the Hitler mustache, right?
as homage.
And he got shit because he's a Fuhrer ass kisser.
Yeah.
You know, he's just kissing the Fuhrer's ass. And then that guy made an argument that he had this mustache in high school. This wasn't
Love that.
Hitler inspired.
Yeah.
And he was probably finding other guys or looking for his yearbook
Yeah. I
or
was
something, going, come on, man.
Check my old
I'm
headshots.
I'm not doing this.
He copied me.
I'm just saying that
And yeah, if you're a Nazi, you're a little effeminate because that's how we're doing this.
In a world where all your countrymen and foot soldiers, lieutenants and generals rock the facial hair
Yeah.
of the leader, never could find a picture of somebody rocking Hitler's mustache. That's how bad a choice it was.
What
Yeah.
a bad day to just look in the bathroom mirror, about to shave it off because nobody believes you. Life is miserable.
Nobody
And
believes
you've
you.
had it. You've had it.
But
since
it would.
college.
It is a valid question because is the Fuhrer flattered when he sees that? I mean, is he secretly kind of pissed off? Like, where's everyone's?
I think it's almost like when you
Mustache?
see SNL getting chastised for maybe ripping off a sketch idea from YouTube, right? You go, all right, like, I'm not going to call him out because it's the mecca of sketch comedy, but you take a little bit of like, I'm flattered that there's common thought, or do you step up and shoot Lorne Michaels'
It's hard
Facebook
to
message?
tell. Hitler was very complex, you know. Hard
was.
to tell whether he would have taken that as a boy or a tip of the cap.
He doesn't strike me as a guy that brings you into the office being like, I noticed we have similar facial hair structure.
Yeah, Fuhrer. I had mine since high school. Did you know that?
You did.
Yeah, ask anybody in the garrison.
Well, I don't care about what you did pre-Nazi.
Oh, yeah. We're living in kind of a post-Nazi era.
Yes, it's pre-post, just like it's before Christ, after Christ. You know, Michael Jackson. I listened to a Michael Jackson song and think, did he look at about before or after this song was recorded?
Yeah, I don't really get that reference. 'cause
Michael
it's
Jackson.
1941.
Oh.
But I will. I'm not denying the reference. I'm just saying I don't
You
get
need
it.
to get out more.
I'm just saying, Fuhrer or Adolf. I want to call you
Dolph.
Dolph. Okay. I'm just saying I had this in high school. I'm not accusing you of copying me.
No. And also, you know, there are so many styles, right?
Yeah,
Julia, Harry.
Yeah.
You know?
I was gonna go with a Fu Manchu, but then I was thinking,
Trust our instincts, Fur.
yeah, but I don't want to do that because we have the Japanese and the Pacific Theater fighting the Chinese.
Right,
so I didn't want
right.
to do a homage to a Fu Manchu. I didn't think you'd like that.
Well, I do think that my stash is so famous that at some point somebody will copy it worth the attention. And my question now is whether that's Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, or even Brad Williams. I would prefer a dwarf rock my mustache than you, Fur.
Well, I know Jesse Owens kind of screwed up your Olympics, Fuhrer. I hate to bring up a sore subject, but I know he kind of blew that for you. And yeah, there may be another man of color who rocks your mustache in the future, possibly in a Hanes commercial.
As
I
long
don't
as
know.
he's not Jewish.
No, I don't think they like that.
Is Michael Jordan Jewish?
I'll have to look it up. I
have to
can't
look it
tell
up.
you off the top of my head.
Most guys that have that kind of airtime, you know what I mean? The guys with the 44 verticals, the guys who can take off from the free
what
throw.
a dumb
stride.
question. Yeah.
All right, so sorry, Dawson. You went to the
Yeah, we
went to
got
the
we went on a
AVN.
little Hitler,
Hitler-
tangent.
Yeah.
Great band name.
Yeah, Hitler tangent.
Yeah, went out to the AVNs, went out to the expo on Friday, which is NAMM was this weekend where you usually get all the
Yeah.
audio gear. AVN Expo is like NAMM with STDs.
Wow.
Saw lots of naked girls, lots of dildos, lots of life-size sex dolls.
Wow.
Are they getting good now?
dildos.
Izzy
what's the
got
blow
friend
time?
zoned by one of them.
Whoa.
Just they're getting that good.
Are they like $10,000 ones? Because I've been hearing about this.
I didn't check the prices.
Yeah.
How
look,
dare you? You
Yeah.
had one job. Come back with an affordable sex doll.
No, they say like a Rolls-Royce dealership, if you have to ask, you probably can't afford it.
Can you
Market price.
imagine somebody out there paying 6 figures? And at that point, it's not a doll; it's a robot, and it's with a vagina. I mean, there's got to be. I remember when Whitney Cummings for one of her specials made. I think it would cost her. I want to say $50K. She had a like Vembot.
Oh, right.
That was
like molded.
Yeah, that was. It worked. I don't know below the neck, but
Tight pussy, I'm here to say.
yeah. So
She left it in the green room at the Improv.
Did she really?
I wouldn't say I was drunk, but I had been drinking. And
and it winked at you.
That's what I thought, but
Yeah.
I just made my move. Yeah, so tight.
Can you imagine though spending like hard and to get, and then at that point, what are you expecting?
Well,
if you're paying 6 figures for a sex robot, you're
this
just
reminds me of something else.
please.
All right. I was thinking about this. I was toggling between Hitler's mustache and sex robots. But I've realized that, a 6-foot blonde, $10,000 sex robot. I was thinking like, I work real hard, and I really work hard. And I
Deserve the best.
I'm always thinking of others, you know what I mean? Providing for others. But
Gotcha.
like, what about me,
Right.
And I thought like, okay, I've worked for 30 years. I don't get myself many presents. So I thought about this thing. But here's the rub. Pardon the pun. When we were collecting porn and spankable stuff back in the day, it was magazines, it was DVDs. Now it's your phone. Stashable stuff. Take the DVD, slide it between the mattress
Sure.
and the box spring.
The extent people went to hide magazines and DVDs.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
everyone has like an attic or a drawer, or like now it's like guys get clever with their folders, which
Right.
you got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't go
Right.
to Cabo. Stop making a folder titled Cabo Adventures 2022.
There's always a porn stash. Right?
Yeah.
You stashed it away.
Definitely
Right.
not big black cocks.
Yeah. No, you'd have to have. No, I was thinking about it. It's in a book of mine or something. You have to label it like Steve Yeager's greatest all-star hits.
Right.
And then no woman would ever. She'd ever fucking who's this? No, I'm not gonna bore myself.
My theories on the 1982 Minnesota Twins and
Yeah.
why they didn't win the World Series.
Right. And then that would always get left alone.
Yeah.
All right. Now, here's what I'm saying. Where are you going to stash a 6-foot sex robot? There is no more sock drawer for that. Can't do the old faithful out in the woods.
No.
People put stuff, people do under the bathroom sink, and that. No. What are you going to do with this 6-foot blonde in your home? And then isn't everyone going to discover it? They're going to show up and they'll go, "Oh, Adam, you got a sex robot. Look at you."
Yeah.
So
And
here's
you
my
can't say it's a doll for the kids. They didn't want the
Here's
tiny,
my
yeah.
take. My take in whoever's programming these things or inventing them or whatever, they need to perform other tasks.
Right.
Plausible deniability.
Be multi-talented.
That's my dog walker.
Wow.
It's an automated dog walker.
Who happens to have
Wears a thong back and my jizz is all over her back. But yeah,
But she knows the route in my neighborhood that's the
yeah.
safest.
And they'd be like, she needs to wear stiletto heels and a thong back.
Hey, I don't tell you how to walk your dog.
That's right. That's right. And then you'd get confused and they'd go, "Is she programmed to pick up the dog poop?" And you'd go, "Who?" And they'd go, Your dog walk." Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, where are those bags? You start sweating a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
but they have to perform other, because
That's
your friends would have to come over, or family members, God forbid, and see her like making an omelet.
Yes.
You know what I
To
mean?
understand
And then
the
later
purchase.
on, you could bang the bejesus out of her.
It's like Lars and the Real Girl. Remember that?
Yes.
Gosling brought home a doll. He was, a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And his, sister and brother-in-law were concerned about his, dating behaviors. And then all of a sudden, a doll shows up and Actually, that's a great scene. I remember he's like at the door and he's like, can I bring a friend to dinner? And they're so pumped. They're like, oh my God, like who, yeah, I mean, yes, of course. Like, what, first of all, didn't know you were even going anywhere to meet someone, let alone you bringing a girl over. Yes, like we are in full support. No judgment, whoever this person is.
Right.
Our one prerequisite is that she's breathing and not a doll. They didn't say that, but then they cut to the doll at the dinner table and it's brilliant. But like, you have to have other things that the doll is, or do you, I mean, what sort of a family are you comfy enough to just show up on a Thanksgiving and go, you guys know I've been in a rut. I'm 48.
Yeah.
You want me to be happy,
Right?
right? You all said that. You all
And
said you want me to be
safe.
happy.
And safe.
And safe. You said, hey man, you're not pulling out, and you've had 6 almost babies in the last 24 months, and it's time to get your shit together, Clint. And I think it's time for you to make a change, and I've done that, and I'm happy, and I want you guys to meet the reason I'm happy.
And
And
then
you
he
bust
pulls
her
her
out
out
from under the table.
from
Yeah.
the table, and he wipes her mouth for her. The doll.
yeah.
Just to let them know, yeah, she was down there, and yeah, she was.
I don't know
blown.
if I'm ready for that yet.
Well, who's fan?
I like my idea of omelet maker and plausible
Yeah.
deniability.
You can't just come out
The
and-
dog walker is suspect because if this doll is going to walk your dog, go walk around the block, parading around.
Yeah.
How do you know she's not stopping by your neighbor's house after? You're going to get
she's got a
jealous.
wandering eye.
Yeah. I mean, if I was,
bitch
if I
has
was
been
your neighbor,
stepping out on me.
if I was
Imagine
your neighbor,
luring
I'm
a sex doll walking
that's
a
just,
dog.
That's just Adam's dog walking robot. I'm gonna go say hi.
I'm gonna fucking pull her battery. She keeps this shit
They're
up.
just They're strictly professional relationship here. I'm looking for something
That's
more.
an uncomfortable conversation with the neighbor. Wife answers the door. What you want? No, not you. I want to talk to your husband. Yeah. Yeah, the guy mowing the lawn with a boner. Yeah, that guy. I want to talk to him. Listen, this thing's only warranted for one cock. You understand? And it's prorated, too.
You're voiding my warranty.
You're voiding my warranty.
Yeah.
All right, Dawson. Poor Dawson.
Would have
No,
one
it's all
last
right.
question. If they get the feeling of these dolls down like perfectly, what if they don't? Like, does it take you out of it if the noises they programmed sound too electronic?
I can hear gears.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If everything feels the way it should, and you're like, dude, this is just like the real thing, if not better, and then all of a sudden she's like, I'm about to count. Like, does that take
Stephen
you?
Hawking sort of
Yeah.
sound.
What if it's just if it's set on Stephen Hawking? Does that take you out of it?
I think you got to go AI and
Oh, that's right.
get a celebrity. You know,
Wow, that's next.
Brooke Shields, circa 1989.
Julia
you know what I mean?
Roberts,
Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman era. You know what I mean? Like
Richard
that's what they
Gere,
would-
Pretty Woman era.
Whatever floats your boat. Like that's what we would start doing.
Adam Carolla, Man Show era.
Oh, yeah.
All right, poor Dawson. Go ahead.
That's quite all right. So the expo was cool and everything. Got to sit down and do some interviews. Now I'm still sweetening the audio and finalizing
Can't wait.
some of the interview videos, but we'll make them available in their full highlights. I was speaking with male performer, last year's male performer of the year, Mick Blue. We'll get a picture of him up there. Mick Blue, one of the most interesting people I have ever spoken to in my life.
How so?
Austrian dude, grew up doing downhill ski racing.
You got to be an athlete to be a porn star.
Got into porn, but now he's driving race cars.
Wow.
He's trying to become a mainstream actor. But what we did, we joked with all of the people. I would ask them, we're just going to sit down.
Hold
and
on
do
a
it.
second. Isn't Mick Blue? Isn't that kind of a who's on first type of situation?
Mick
Yes.
Blue.
Where's our actor, Mick Blue? I'm not asking who he blew.
Right.
I'm asking where he is.
Where is he?
yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Who
care what
is
he's
he?
doing. What he
Nick
did.
Blue.
I think he's hanging out with,
I get it. He blows guys.
he's
Now,
hanging out
where
with-
is he? We're running late.
He's hanging out with Will Pounder and Huge Cock.
Right.
When enjoying porn, you guys, do you pay attention to the male actor, is there certain?
As little as possible. I mean, this guy. It's also interesting that you said he wants to be a real actor. I'm sorry, but if there's footage of you like blowing something on somebody or take just. There's no way you're gonna get a guest star on CSI Miami. There's no way you're gonna be cast in some sort of Paul Giamatti indie film because everyone's gonna be like, even if they recognize you in the audition, like something's. I mean,
we should talk to Kim Kardashian about your theory.
Oh,
Maybe she
get her on the
has
phone.
some thoughts.
no, I think she's doing some promo for American Horror
that's
Story.
right.
Yeah.
She's all right. You know what? I stand corrected.
There you go. Also got to speak with a friend of the show, Maitland Ward. Sat down with her.
Oh, she's an actress first, though.
Yeah.
Yes. And we asked all of these adult performers basically the questions to the last presidential debate.
No way.
And tried
Great
to get their
call.
answers. Mick Blue would solve crime by making sex free because you've never robbed a bank in your refractory period.
Wow.
Can't confirm I haven't. Yeah.
That's what they used to say about the 9/11 hijackers. They're like, if they had just rubbed one out,
Right.
maybe there would have been
Yeah.
a
Right.
second
Exactly.
a reconsideration.
Yeah,
Exactly.
women get all these lactation rooms. I mean, we should get a little room
Right.
just to.
Oh, is that what those are for? Because I've been using them to rub one out. I was just in Karen using one.
By the way, if you do run for office, this is your platform.
Any
You know,
room,
men need their own lactation rooms.
any room with a lock on the door is potentially a whack room.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
You've de facto become.
You are.
You
Really
sound like a homeless man at Starbucks.
That's right.
Wait, Dawson, who was the most? I guess Mick Blue, but then who's on the female? Who's the female equivalent to like Star of the Year? Who's the
Maitland Ward. We spoke with Maitland Ward.
Yeah, is she the Meryl Streep of porn? Who's
No,
like the?
actually, I was introduced to Mick Blue as the Meryl Streep of porn.
No
That
way.
literally
Good for
happened,
him.
That he is the Meryl Streep of porn.
And so my follow up question is: do these other adult performers look at Mick Blue and go, "Dude, he fucks so good," or are they like, he can stay in a scene? And like he's a really good listener. He's like he makes you better as an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like what type of a performer are they celebrating?
I might have to follow up with that. Those
Imagine-
are good questions.
Do they? Because if he does want to switch over to real acting, there's got to be. You're still acting. I mean, yeah. Like I think because I guess most porn stars have to have a level of connection when they're acting and fuck. I mean, look, most of them I think are pretty. No one's looking at the the quality of the acting performance, but. Something tells me that Mick Blue takes it pretty seriously.
He does. I think he does. I think he does his research and really gets into the role.
I'll tell you what they have. It's a vestige of a bygone era. If you watch vintage stuff from like the 70s or the 80s, they do a lot of close-ups on the dudes' faces, and they would overstay their welcome. Like you just see that guy, like just at the climax, they'd cut to the guy's face and they'd stay on it like way
too
like
long.
You just need to establish. Like I get it. John Holmes is about to bust a nut. One Mississippi, good. Move back to the chick. Oh no, they'll hang out. They'll hang out for like a 10 count on the dude while he's trying to swallow his lower lip, and he's going like, oh, and it's like, we get it.
Yeah, too
we
much.
get it. Now let's get back to the chick.
I didn't even think you need to establish. Like, if it's some POV blowjob thing, like, you can see from the knees, that's a guy.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm telling you 70s porn, which I'll look at every once in a while, too much, too tight for too long on dude faces.
So also talk to Jennifer White, her husband, huge fan of yours. We'll again, when I clean up all this audio, we do have a interview question with Jennifer White. Why don't we go ahead and try this? Go ahead.
Oh, what were like you said you walked around like the convention area. What were the people like the guys walking around, the girls walking around?
What do you think they were
Take
like,
your
Chris?
imagination, and you're 100% right.
Really?
What do you,
I don't know,
what do
I'm
you
so
think
surprised.
is there?
It's
a
the
lot
same-
of lonely guys. Lots
Really?
of lonely guys.
Yeah.
Were they doing
Lots of broken girls.
booths and peep shows and stuff like that?
The whole thing was sponsored by, I think, freecams.com. If I'm wrong with that, I apologize.
You are wrong.
But-
It's actually
so
Jamba
at
Juice.
the
Sponsored.
expo.
That's right.
At the expo, like at NAMM, where you would see, guitars
Yeah.
all lined up down this one aisle.
Soccer fair, get
There
to
were
the-
several aisles, must have been a couple hundred girls doing live cam shows. And wow. You just walk down, you're like, wow, it was complete overstimulation. I mean, at one point, I wanted to. I wanted to take care of some of these girls, like in a nice way. Like, can I bring you to my house and make you some soup?
Oh man, it's got late night strip
Or do you want to
club
take your
vibes.
chowder here?
Wow, that was a solid Dawson pop. I haven't seen that in a hot minute.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the actual awards show.
Question though, real quick, the live cam thing. I've seen it once. I don't know if I've ever told the story before. Brad Williams goes, I know a porn star. Do you want to go see a live porn being shot? I go, I'm on my way to a Passover Seder, but I can be late.
Yeah.
So and it's actually both in Chatsworth. So I stop off at this weird strip mall. Brad and I walk in. There's a guy in a wife beater and like some old Houston Rocket mesh shorts. He's scratching his nuts. I hear some girl behind being like, I can't do it anymore. It burns. And he goes, just put something on it. And then whatever. She's like, and then she was like checking her email at the same time. It was very overwhelming. Brad and I walk in. There's two girls putting things in other girls. And then it's just Squirt City. I've never seen anything like this.
Really?
And Brad and I are in there, and it's a tiny little room, and there's only 4 little cams. And I go to Brad, I go, do we start clapping? I feel like we walked in at the closer.
Right.
Like, and we're the audience. So even though, and one of them, they all looked at Brad. So I'm just standing there like the +1 that's like, I'm his bodyguard. You know? and I was like, do we clap? Do we, and Brad made a joke. He goes, like, should I start jerking off? I go, I mean, you can for sure, because I think they'll make a wish and it's fine. But this was the live cam thing. I was like, who are you guys talking to? They're like, oh, there's like 30,000 guys on right now. I was like,
wow.
Get out of here. So, I mean, I didn't realize that was still in play. Like you said, it was sponsored by Free Cam. I thought the cam thing was a thing of the past. It was all OnlyFans now. But
it's almost the entirety.
Wow.
Really? It's the whole business. And it's because there's interaction?
It's possibly because there's interaction, but it's the adult creator who is in charge.
And people will comment like,
it's the people, like, you can be a porn star in your house on your own time.
Wow.
And that's why it's taking over.
I never got the sex phone calls, the 1-800 or 900 or whatever it is. They used to put, renting porn, like literally renting VCH tapes, and then at the VHR?
VHS.
Yeah, VHS. And they would put at the end, they would always put the advertisements for the sex, call me, you know? And they always were off-putting because the chick would be sucking dick. They'd be tight on her, blowing this guy, and then she would like look up and go, oh, there you are. I missed you. How about you give me a call? And I was like, whose dick who's this guy?
You got some explaining to do first.
I thought we had something. You want me to call you while you're sucking this guy's dick?
some people, that's a fetish though for some people.
I was put
That's
off.
not personal.
I didn't pick up the phone.
No.
I was like, well, unless we can reach some sort of agreement.
Why don't you call me when you're feeling
when
like...
you're done sucking cock, how about you
Give me
call
a call
me?
when you want to give me a chance.
I'd be yelling at the set,
Monogamy's real.
All right, so
Anyway,
where are you?
onto the awards show, the actual awards show on Saturday night, which Izzy and I ended up crashing. I thought we had tickets. We didn't have tickets, but we got tickets.
Of course you did.
So we got in. We had some
What'd you have to do for
good
'em?
seats.
Yeah. What do you point
Just
this crop
stand
with
around.
that?
I did thanks to Brian Gross.
Let's
He's
go.
the public
Phrase that
relations guy who
pays.
got us in.
Yeah.
Was there an in memoriam?
There was an in memoriam. There was an in memoriam.
No way.
And it seemed like they did it for Jessie Jane.
Oh,
because she
just
was
died,
the very
yeah.
she was the very last name up there, and they held it up there for
Had to be a moment of silence for
a
the
21
hedge.
gun salute.
I'm just stuck, sir. Had to be a moment of silence for the hedgehog.
Not included.
Not included.
Not included
Ron
at all.
Jeremy not doing well.
No.
No, not doing well.
Health-wise?
Incarcerated, dementia,
Oh,
just
God.
completely gone, according to...
Was he real? I mean, has there been a movie, a biopic on Ron Jeremy?
There should be.
I mean, the way that, look, Boogie Nights, phenomenal film.
Right.
And I feel like there's a way to tastefully do it without, it just feels like the guy, and I'd have to go back, but I feel like I knew about him before I really probably had a full grasp on what porn was.
Yeah.
I just knew the name.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he was definitely, his marketing team was on it.
He was in rap songs.
Yeah.
He was in, I don't know why, The Legend of Ron Jeremy, there's a, from 2001, but that's him in Vegas banging skanks, like a real movie. If you get to the end credits and the end wording of the movie, the Steve McQueen, Dustin Hoffman film, Papillon. Great film. You guys too young to have seen it, but it's a great film. There's a narration at the end, and that narration sort of encapsulates Ron Jeremy's life, and we'll dig that up. I know your documentary, which I very much enjoyed.
Oh, thanks, Ace.
Doug, which is the true story of Doug Ayer. I think did you say Ayer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
An incredible story about an athlete who suffered a horrible injury diving into a pool and then became the world's most decorated paraplegic athlete.
Yeah.
And
cover of a Wheaties box, global tours with Jordan, Montana, Mary Lou Retton, Bo Jackson. Sorry, go ahead.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
by
streaming
the way.
on YouTube. I mean, thanks for plugging that.
Yeah.
It's maybe one of the things I'm most proud of to date. I've never done a documentary. You know this world well, but it's a lot of fucking work. And I met Brian, Doug's brother, who's celebrated in the doc very much so, who really saved Doug's life on and off the stage, and horrific accident. Kid was faking drowning in a pool where he was a lifeguard at, dove in to help him out. Life was great, and not just great. I mean, fun-loving, the same guy he is now, coincidentally, but just with working legs and college athlete, dreams, and family's great, and just all that stuff. And as he says in the doc, life ended and began in that moment. And watching Brian tell me after years of friendship, about 4, 5, 6 years, about his brother, and it just didn't seem real. And I was like, how have I not heard about this? And then I meet Doug and see how incredible he is, and then he starts telling me, and so I'm getting it from the source. And then he pulls up just countless pictures and videos of Will Mick Blue, and I said, I thought this was going to be of your stuff. And so I thought that's what you wanted. So then we put that down. I know he had all these pictures and videos of just his life up to this point, the things that the TV appearances, and it was so overwhelming that I was like, I can't believe the story's not out there. They said there was a movie at one point and the producer passed and it kind of squashed. And I was like, I just have to start with flying buddies out to interview Brian, his brother, Doug, and their mom at the time, who just passed, and at least just get the story, and then I'll, get that captured, and then I can start, figuring out what the story is, and how much of it I want to, what version of it you want to tell, because there's so much more about their family, but I felt like the story that was most apparent was a really good, feel good, guy who had, an insane tragedy. And I think it's so easier said than done to think that you would just go, all right, cool, I'm going to make the best of it and go on to inspire and impact millions of people and mean it. I don't know if you saw in how many interviews when he talks, you're like, oh, that's not a guy that's bullshitting about believing in yourself and doing this. It felt very genuine to me, as he is now, and became a criminal lawyer and helped with the Disability Act. It's a feel-good story. It's really well done. My editor fucking crushed it, and it's on my YouTube. It's called, just type in Adam Ray Doug, and it's only 45 minutes too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It leaves you wanting more.
That's great. Can I add one more thing to my feel-good story?
Please.
Yes.
Yes, feel good down there. They had an announcer. They had an announcer at the awards, and the announcer, a lot of them were just pre-produced packages of all these awards.
Yeah.
They didn't award them all live. But when you hear the award going to Total Eclipse of the Whole, you're like, yes, okay, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. But the best, and this got me on my feet, I stood up and cheered when Big Tit Teen Cream Pies won an award, and people thought that we were in the business because we were like, that's it. That's us, baby. That's the team right there.
That's the team. That's the team behind Big Tit Cream Pie.
Yes, and it was just, it's fantastic to hear a professional announcer in an awards setting say, now, Big Tit Team Cream Pies. It was wonderful. So I'm grateful.
Can I be honest, Dawson? Thanks for sharing. You do have the look of someone in porn.
You do,
and that's a compliment.
I was looked at,
but you have the voice of someone who's not. So this is why.
Right.
This is why I think in the Ron Jeremy story, you're either a early director. I think you've got 2 scene-stealing scenes early on where we see young Ron Jeremy played by maybe, I don't know, John Kite, you know, and you're directing him. And I mean, I don't know, dude. Again,
After the show, I was recognized by two Carolla
of course you were.
fans.
The similar
that's
passion
where
I
they
had
hang
for
out.
making the Doug documentary, I now have to making the Ron Jeremy story starring Dawson.
All right, we need a break. We got the news, and I'll play that fitting tribute to Ron Jeremy as spoken through the end of Papillon right after this. Just thrive. Life can be overwhelming, and it's not just your mind that suffers. Stress messes with your digestive system and your immune system, too. Just Calm, the breakthrough new stress-busting formula from Just Thrive. Exclusive mood-lifting blend is clinically proven to help you relax and breathe easier in as little as 4 weeks. And I actually, there's an award-winning Just Thrive probiotic, which I take on the daily. It's good stuff. You get your gut good, and the mind will follow. It's a spore probiotic that's 1,000 times better survivability than most probiotics, banishes bloat and constipation in your gut, and it frees it up so you can produce serotonin, which is your happy hormone. Plus, it supports better sleep. All with a money-back guarantee. I love these guys. I love this company, and I take it every day. It's a game changer. It's Just Thrive, right, Dawson?
Right now, when you go to JustThriveHealth.com and use promo code Adam, you can get 20% off a 90-day bottle of Just Thrive Probiotic and Just Calm. That's like getting a month for free. And a portion of every purchase goes to Vitamin Angels, a nonprofit organization that saves the lives of millions of children and moms-to-be around the world by ensuring that they get the vitamins and minerals they need to stay healthy and strong. To learn more about this groundbreaking company, don't miss Adam's interview with Tina Anderson, founder of Just Thrive. Take control today with Just Thrive.
Butt plugs. Well, and the point of that for the pleasure is, oh man, you look like a guy that could field this question, yeah? You look like a guy that sells butt plugs out of his Hyundai Tucson. When it comes to men,
2 inches up towards the belly button.
okay, I don't think anyone thought you were going to have an actual answer. I mean, what the fuck? I truly was like, hey, let's just ask the first guy you see. And he was like, well, I've been waiting for you to ask me this the entire night. So, and here's my answer. 2 inches up, to the left, AB, up, down, right, select, start. And you should meet King Koopa in the Warp Zone.
Adam Ray is on the Adam Carolla Show.
I now realize that the end of the movie could have been Brian's song and not Papillon. But let's just hear
Either
the
way.
end of Papillon. Steve McQueen was on Devil's Island. He's a true story. Accused of a crime he didn't commit. Threw his coconuts in the water in a bag and sailed off to the mainland. And there was a narration. But this one is about him going to France and living the rest of his life as a free man. But let's hear it.
Hey, you bastards! I'm still here.
Well, that would work for Ron Jeremy. Hey, you bastards, I'm still here. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
That would work.
Papillon made it to freedom.
All right. But the end,
You would have him floating
For
away?
years of his life,
yeah, he
he
lived
lived
it.
a free man.
But I'm telling you, it's a great movie. You got to watch this movie. It's a true story.
Well, I already saw the end. I don't need to watch it.
No, we need the end of Brian's song. That's where it is. That's all right. I got my ending narrations flip for Ron Jeremy. But hey, you bastards, I'm still here. I mean, in L.A. County, but
Yeah.
still here.
Not bad.
Could have delivered that at the AVNs. All right, what do we got for the news?
All right, so Elon Musk, he was working on something called Neuralink. Mm-hmm. And he plans to implant chips in our brains, right? So they announced that it implanted its first chip in a human on Sunday. And
Oh, great.
Yeah. That patient is recovering well with initial tests showing promising neuron spike detection. So this received approval from the FDA to conduct its first human trial last year, and the startup announced later that year that it was seeking volunteers to have its chip implanted. So this is going to enable control over your phone or computer and through basically any device just by thinking. So initial users will be those who have lost the use of their limbs Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That's the goal.
So the chip is designed for people that truly are impaired.
Well, the initial chip, but I'm sure, if this goes the way that Elon wants, we'll all have it.
Yeah, we all want to think faster, move faster. Yeah.
Yeah, and control everything with our minds. So I don't have to lift up my phone anymore and, like your video.
The problem with all the time-saving devices is it's an endless pursuit. You never reach the finish line. Like you go, and they would always say, they'd go, look, once they invented the washing machine and the woman didn't have to go down to the river and wash the clothes in the river, but the washing machine, she will now have free time to enjoy herself.
Right.
And all the advertisements in like the 50s where the washing machine's in the back and the housewife is reading a magazine. But the reality is it's like, you have self-driving cars so you can relax. No, it's so you can text.
Yeah.
Some business shit. You
And-
know what I
and
mean?
buy some tickets to some. Yeah,
Right.
it's just,
Everything that frees you up just makes you go faster down the work mode.
There's no
And the
downtime.
plan is always like, oh, well, automate this and then you'll be able to get there. And it's like, yeah, instead of taking a wagon to Oregon, you'll take a plane to Oregon. And all that means is you do more work here, leave later, get there faster, and then do more work when you get there. That's how all this goes.
You're not freeing up any time.
No, we have the end of Brian's song, by the way. This is the legacy of the hedgehog, Ron Jeremy.
Brian Piccolo died of cancer at the age of 26. He left a wife and 3 daughters. He also left a great many loving friends who miss him and think of him often. But when they think of him, it's not how he died that they remember, but rather how he lived, how he did live.
That's
Beautiful.
That's what
James
they're going to
Caan,
think
yeah.
of with Ron Jeremy.
Now, we'd end on the similar face with Ron Jeremy, too.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, I don't get mad.
They don't think about him dying in prison. It's how he lived, porking every hot chick
That's actually
and getting,
great. You got
getting paid for it.
Ron's voice over a long shot, maybe just pulling back from him, just plowing away on somebody.
Yeah.
And who was that? Brian's voice?
That was the voice of the coach, I think, in the movie.
That was the dad in Dirty Work. What's
That's
his
a
name?
famous actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
Always played the crotchety.
Jack. Oh man, Jack.
Yeah.
Not Nicholas. Not Bauer.
That guy.
Me off. Who is it?
Yeah.
Jack. Jack. No, my
Jack
God.
Warden.
Warden. Let's
Warden.
go.
That
dude.
was I didn't
Circle
come
gets
up
a
with
square.
that. I didn't come up. It was on the screen.
Adam doesn't need a chip in his brain. He is the
That's
guy's doing
right.
it.
The
All
chip
right.
in the brain scares me.
Jack Warden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so he actually conducted extensive tests on animals first,
What animals?
monkeys. And they were able to play a game of Pong while navigating the screen with just their brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what they tested. I mean,
Yeah, that's how.
but I feel like we should, if it's
Let me tell you the thing
missed
about
opportunity, like have them
Let me tell you what you don't want in life.
monkeys playing Pong.
No. What you don't want is if you're a creature on this planet or any planet, you want the superior group or phylum or the superior animal is like the human, right?
Yeah.
We're the top, right?
Yeah.
And then there's all other God's creatures that come below. Now, what you want to be is you want to be like a dolphin or panda bear, where the superior being just goes, look, we have nothing to learn from this, but we are going to feed him and swoon. Well, look at him. We'll take care of the dolphins. Chicks love dolphins. They love panda bears. What you don't want is right underneath the superior being, because the superior being goes, well, we can test all our shit out on the monkey.
Yeah.
Because they're closest to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you were on a different planet, Adam, there would be a superior being to you. There's no doubt.
Yep.
You would not rule the planet.
Of course.
But you want to be way down from it so it would keep you as a pet. Look at Adam. He's so cute. He tells jokes.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? He tells us about his brother-in-law, the rapper, and everything. He's fun to have around. He needs to be fed, by the way, and wiped and taken care of. But you don't want to be one click below them because they'd be like, let's test the shampoo out on his eyes because he has the same eyes. He has almost the same eyes as we do. And let's put this electronic.
Oh my God.
Let's put this lobe in his brain.
You want to be a caterpillar.
We want to
Yeah.
You want to be way down.
Way down.
Way down. Not too. I'm going to tell my kids, don't get too close.
Yes. Stop.
If you get close, you got to go past.
Yeah.
And then take over like Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
You're a couple notches below. It's all experiments all the time on your monkey ass.
Yeah. Those people that actually do sign up to get tested on. I met a guy. I think that clip is on YouTube somewhere, but I met a guy who he went on hamsterhuman.com. I'm making up this website, but it's not too far off. And he was like, I get tested by the government for stuff. And I was like, permission to speak freely. You look and sound like a guy who's getting all the shots, all the juices and everything. And I was like, what are you testing out recently? And he was like, some shot for leukemia and then something for herpes. I go, boy, we're really just going both sides of the spectrum.
Wow.
And he said it pays decent. I was like, I feel like it should pay awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're making yourself susceptible to all that, but didn't know that. I didn't. You just when you're not thinking about that, I was like, oh, I've never met someone that puts himself up for grabs like that. It's got to be a lot of money for you to get shot up with something to be like, maybe this is.
If you're going to do that, do the sleep tests.
Those only pay like $100, I think.
Yeah, but you're just sleeping.
Yeah.
That's what make money doing that.
We used to be able to just use prisoners for everything. Now ACLU got all involved.
Did we really?
We can't. Oh yeah, CIA and all those people. It was always prisoners. I mean, because that's what they're essentially our monkeys.
Right.
You know what I mean? We keep them, we feed them. Now let's test on them.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to have that.
I'd watch that show, by the way.
Give me that pen, Adam.
I mean, you've got.
Is it leaking all over me?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're looking for? Oh, I was wondering why there was junk all over my hand.
All blue.
You have. Who's talking to the test person? We have Adam talking to the test person.
Oh, because Adam does a lot of crowd work.
This is the person you're talking about.
Is it? I don't. What is it? Is it?
Must be.
Really?
I guess so.
I don't know. That's what we're being told.
Wow.
See, the internet's got everything.
You guys are incredible. Is this? Wow.
This is you at Zany's.
Still in the mix. What's your name, my man? Russ. What are you doing here in Chicago?
Right now.
You're visiting a professional human who? You're a human lab rat. For real?
Pharmaceutical drugs need to be tested.
Wow.
Pharmaceutical drugs.
Okay, I'll take things nobody thought you were going to say. Thank you for your service, bro. So you're the one that's like, hey man, you can only have 8 Flintstone vitamins at once. Unless you want to be the mayor of Diarrhea City. Pretty much. So they're throwing you, wow, how do you sign up for a gig like that? Is it pretty easy? Just go to guineapig.com or what is it? Just another labrat.com? For real? Glenn, pull up that goddamn site.
All right, the audio's tough, but
Yeah.
that was it. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy. So then, and then he went on to say how many things. It was a nice grab bag of, wait, what are they putting in you? But,
He must be doing well. He got front row at Adam Ray.
yeah.
Stand-up show, so.
I don't know. There's so many more gigs I would do before I let them just test stuff on me. Because I feel like, how far up the line are they even, where is it in the stage to where it's going on to humans?
Right.
You would hope that they've, how many monkeys are they
They
testing?
got to have some guidelines in place.
100 monkeys and then a guy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about after you die? Would you donate your body to science?
You have to.
Yeah, my mom did it.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Did they test out stuff?
What'd they find out?
They were conducting a study of moms who never loved their sons.
And?
Yeah, well,
It worked. Yeah, that's like,
okay.
It checked out. I got the certificate. No, she did.
it's official.
It's
Oh,
official.
my
Yeah, I always
God.
knew there was something on a biological level. It couldn't be all emotional.
That's so funny, dude.
She did. She donated her body to
for
UCLA,
her.
and that was my answer to my stepdad. Because you got to make a joke, right?
You have to, dude.
You have to.
You have to. You played it right.
yeah.
That's right.
So there's a story last week about a woman who stabbed this guy over 100 times. And
Yeah.
and she's avoiding prison. So what happened was she stabbed this guy 100 times, then turned the knife on herself during what was described as a marijuana-induced psychotic state.
Oh.
Yeah, it happened in Thousand Oaks.
Oh.
So she's been ordered to serve 100 hours of community service and 2 years of probation for this deadly stabbing, triggered by marijuana.
The pot's getting too good.
Yeah,
we are
it's
past
getting-
the days of, hey, man, drinking and weed's different. You know what I'm saying? Because drinking, you can drink and drive and kill somebody. Weed, you just forget where the Apple TV remote is. Am I right? Good night, Bakersfield. No,
Right.
now it's
No.
you can get too fucking baked, forget who you are, forget like what a knife can do, and just start going to town.
Going to town on this guy, going to town on yourself. Like the cops came, she didn't even know what was going on. When they
Wow.
Came.
Well, the thing too, yes, pot is too good. It's not the old pot. It's too good.
Might be a combo of stuff, though.
Yes, and we've decided to give it some sort of mythical powers, like we're shaman or something, and this is sage. It's not. It's just fucking you getting high. And I brought this up to Drew earlier today. I went nuts on it yesterday, but I will bring it up to you. And it's very true. If you said to 100 moms who lived on the West Side, Santa Monica, Venice, Beverly Hills, whatever, if you found in Los Angeles, if you found 100 moms and said, we found a vape pen in your 15-year-old's son's drawer, would you prefer be pot or nicotine? Like a vape pen for cigarette or vape pen for pot, 86% would vote for pot.
Yes.
They would wish it was pot.
Oh, yeah.
And because they're fucking dumb and it's insane. That's the crazy part. That is the fucking crazy part. You don't want your 15-year-old fucking sucking on pot all day.
No.
It's going to fuck their brain up.
Yeah.
Vape pen does nothing with the nicotine, inert.
The nicotine
but
buzz
yet
is way different,
They
right?
want, it's the coffee buzz.
Yeah.
But they want it. And this is where we're at.
Well, because it's been so ingrained about nicotine
Yes.
and tobacco, and
Yes.
they're like, oh, they're
Yes,
smoking cigarettes,
and
or do you want them to smoke
pot? Has
weed?
like magical components to it when it doesn't. So hope your kid. Here's what I would say: hope your kid doesn't do the nicotine vape, but fucking pray they don't do the pot one, especially at 15.
Yeah,
thank you.
And look, you can get too high. Okay, I've gotten too high. I've driven to 7-Eleven. I've gotten a Slurpee. I forgot that I drove, and I walked home. And that's happened more than once.
Really?
I've also had long conversations with homeless people about things I shouldn't be talking about, right? But there's no weed that should get you to this place.
No,
unless you walked into the dispensary
something's
like, give me
wrong
some of
with
that stabby kush.
They had to
Well,
change
why-
it 4 times.
Why doesn't she do time? Is what I'm.
She will.
Because she was under psychosis at the time of the stabbing. She was charged with involuntary manslaughter instead of murder. Of course, the victim's family are disheartened. They don't agree with this decision at all. But that's what the judge.
Listen,
came down with.
the Manson family stopped at 15 stabbings.
Yeah,
she
what's
blew right through that
17?
light.
Yeah.
And number one, number two, does she have some sort of backstory about being molested by the babysitter and this was the guy, or he
unclear,
raped
yeah.
her? I mean, you got to factor that shit in.
Well, that-
just some dude.
Yeah, that's the other
That's
thing. Again,
weird, that part.
Being high and just stabbing with no motive makes no sense to me. So what did he do?
If she wants to get herself out of doing time, she has to say that she was raped by this guy and it was her boyfriend.
For starters.
Then there's something, Chris,
Oh, man.
no backstory or
God, he-
anything?
he looks
not
like
not in this report. I'm not seeing. Well, let me see. if
So
there's a
she stabbed
backstory.
a stranger 100
Oh, no.
times.
No, sorry, excuse me. They were smoking weed together, so I don't think they were complete strangers.
It might have been lace too, man. That's why I'm like getting real dodgy about.
Oh, you go to
taking
the next
stranger
one.
puffs.
I'll let Dawson look for this
Okay.
one. I always got to hear I need to know the backstory, though, Chris. I need to know if this is a boyfriend, a neighbor, or they met that day. Like,
Right.
there's some,
I'm sure
she's
that-
got to
I'm sure they
her.
have a relationship of some
She-
sort.
Boyfriend. That's what I heard in the news story.
Oh, boyfriend. All right. And she didn't play the abuse, rape card? Because I feel like
I don't think. I mean, if you're playing Psychosis, I don't think you
Dawson,
need to.
don't take an entire mouthful of mixed nuts while I'm talking. The timing's bad. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait till after the show. You have to wait till I'm done asking questions.
Sorry.
Who's headlining the Chew? What sort of nut made its way to the front?
Filbert.
No, I did not hear anything about any abusive relationship. That certainly would have been in the news. That was not taken into consideration
Didn't
by the
play
judge
that card, huh?
when handing down this sentence.
Wow.
It was all strictly
100 stabbings,
marijuana.
no time.
Insane, absolutely insane.
Even when I've played Duck Hunt High and the name of the game is kill, I've had some compassion and been like, that duck's probably got a family.
And there's no possible way we could reverse this. If he stabbed her 100 times, he'd be in prison for the rest of his life.
100%.
All right.
Even if he claims psychosis.
We got, it's the new.
He's like, come on, I look like Brett Favre's son.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
what's
John
next?
Favre.
All right, so billionaire. Sorry, let me just get the notes. I was looking up to see about the boyfriend.
There'll never not be news about billionaires.
Billionaire Ken Griffin. So he was speaking at the MFA Network conference today, as we record this, to CNBC's Leslie Picker, and he says that he is done donating money to Harvard. So last year he gave the university $300 million.
Wow.
Named the Arts and Sciences building. They named it after him. But he says that I'm done. I'm done donating to Harvard. I have a video.
They named the building the
of
Ken Griffin.
Yeah, the Ken Griffin.
And every one of those fucking 19-year-olds walking in the library is like, that guy not only had pop in his bat, but a cannon for an arm. Somebody should name more. That's Ken Griffey, right?
Yeah, man.
That
He's
guy,
wearing a Mariners
I've
hat.
seen him throw out a dude from the warning track.
Greatest player of the 90s, man.
Yeah.
Unanimous Hall of Fame.
His pops could fucking drive.
Only father-son combo to go back-to-back.
Nobody had this kind of power to the opposite field. Nobody.
Right.
So let's go read the shit out of his books.
No. Ken Griffin. The Harvard
From
guy.
Seattle.
No. Ken Griffin, the Harvard
Oh,
grad.
his dad.
left-handed
Senior.
power
No,
You
swinger.
got to say senior.
Take off the EY. Add an N.
Oh, he went to the Reds. He went to the
guy-
Reds after the Mariners.
Guys,
I went to the Reds. But Ken,
I understand the confusion. Ken Griffin.
let's just read some books. He was nice enough to donate these books. Probably a lot of baseball books. Like, I want to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all Beckett's
I want to
and
read.
stats.
I'm going to read the Tommy Lasorda story. What are you going to pick up?
I'm going to start with the Ken Griffin story.
Uh-huh.
Griffin's story, the man who donated his time and money to this school and its education system.
I wonder if they have something on Thurman Munson. All right, and see.
What is he known for, though?
I just know he's a billionaire. He donates, probably just an entrepreneur investor. But here's a video of him.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, 300 mil, just not even blinking. Name that building after me. They're like, oof, it's going to cost you, Ken.
We got
Yeah,
the vid.
Byron should have it.
Everyone should have it.
Maybe I should give him a heads up. I said it to you this morning. Anyway, well, he'll explain. He'll explain why.
By the way, Ken Griffin is so pissed right now. He's
I
like,
know.
fuck, dude. 300 million, I can't even have my own clip locked and loaded.
Here it is.
I'm going to choose a word here carefully. America's
Don't say the
elite
N-word, dude.
university.
Okay.
Get back to their roots of educating American children, young adults, to be the future leaders of our country?
Yep.
Or are they going to maintain being lost in the wilderness of microaggressions, a DEI agenda that seems to have no real end game, and just being lost in the wilderness? Like, which way are we going to pick? Are we going to educate the future members of the House and the Senate and the leaders of IBM? Or are we going to educate a group of young men and women who are just caught up in a rhetoric of oppressor and oppressee, and this is not fair, and frankly, just like whiny snowflakes? Like, where are we going with education in elite schools in America? And that's a really big issue.
$300 million last year.
300 mil.
Nothing this
Listen,
year.
I've said it a million times. I don't know why all of these organizations outed themselves when they had a good deal going and they were just flying under the radar, cashing, hammering checks. You know what I mean? Like Black Lives Matter. They could have just fucking gone in perpetuity, just extorting companies and taking money from everybody.
Yeah.
But they had to side with Hamas. You know what I mean? They have to do like an official, like there needs to be somebody, and I said PETA did this, and NAACP does this, and ACLU does this. At some point, they take a turn for the crazy.
Yeah.
And there needs to be somebody in Harvard took a turn for the crazy. And it's like, look, go up there, condemn Hamas, explain that you're a fan of the Jews, and that this kind of these kind of outbursts on your campus are completely unacceptable. Then come back, and we'll keep hammering checks in perpetuity. Or you can go out there and be a bitch and argue with the other bitch, and the fucking money's going to dry up.
Yeah.
So just stop it and keep the money rolling in. But nope, they outed themselves. They blew the lid off all this stuff. And now everyone's like, yeah, fuck these guys. Why? And all the rich, old conservative white guys are like, why are we giving them our money if they don't? Half of them are Jewish. So they're like, fuck these bitches. We're not giving them any more money. And that's where we're at now. Just because of that incident.
Yeah.
They can't do it. Like, I mean, I just, it's so weird. They must get so full of themselves that they just think they're impenetrable and not vulnerable, but they are. And also, how much Harvard's endowment is like $58 billion or something. How much money do you need? Here's what I don't get. Okay. Look, Adam, let's do this with you.
Please.
Okay. Give me a fast food you like.
Oh, Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
All right. So you like a Wendy's burger. You like a square burger.
Sure.
Okay.
More of a.
All right.
If I'm going there, to be honest, I'm probably starting with a fry and a Frosty.
All right. So let's just say the Wendy's in Sherman Oaks you like to hit up.
Perfect.
Let's just say that place had like a $58 million endowment and would get millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars donated to that Wendy's every year, right? But then you ran up a tab with the Wendy's in Sherman Oaks.
Sure.
And you owed them like $119. And then I, from the government, would go, this is bullshit. Why should Adam have to pay Wendy's back? And why? And then someone would go, well, he ate 22 hamburgers, and now he owes them $118. So I'd go, yeah, but Adam doesn't work, and he wants to travel a little more, and he shouldn't be on the hook. But no one from the government goes, wait a minute, why does Wendy's have $58 billion sitting around and multiple billion-dollar donors every year to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars? Okay, Wendy's wants to get their money back. There's a loan. How about Wendy's why are the taxpayers bailing out Adam Ray in his burger? He ran up a tab with burger. Why are we getting involved? I'm vegan. I've never eaten at Wendy's. I've never been to Sherman Oaks. We should be asking Wendy's with their billions of dollars and their millions donated to the Sherman Oaks Wendy's every year why they're not doing it. How come no politician, nobody, all the most progressive people on the right and left, they never go, well, wait a minute, Harvard has $10 billion. You want to get rid of student loans? Maybe we should talk to them. And also, why is it $150,000 worth of Wendy's is charging $86 for a single patty burger? Does that seem a little extreme?
Seems a little
We
ridiculous.
can't make a burger for $5? Seems like Wendy's is gouging, and Wendy's has an endowment for billions of dollars, and Wendy's is getting hundreds of millions of dollars from donations, and they just charge you $28 for a small Diet Pepsi? Okay, someone's got to look into Wendy's, not ask me to subsidize Adam and his Wendy's addiction.
You're not wrong.
Thank you. Powerful.
Give out some free Frosties, too.
Yeah.
God,
I want some Wendy's. I've never tried a Wendy's.
Get out of here.
Never.
Do you dip the fries in the Frosty?
Yeah.
That's the move?
Yeah, dude. That's the whole point of doing it. Wendy's, I put him up there with the best of the best. I mean, Dave Thomas, God rest his soul.
He knew what he was doing.
Hero.
He had a plan, He, pre-social media, really cut through.
And it's crazy, too, because he'd do the square patty.
Yeah.
And cows don't even come in that shape, dude.
No.
He's playing God.
Don't stab me, man.
I mean, they're round, so I get why everyone would do the regular one.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's, he did it right. He also, when you're a fast food spokesman, you got to just keep it in your pants, and I think the product sells itself. And I'm talking to you, Jared Fogle. Where's my Jared Fogle cam?
I love that guy.
We should bring it out every time you're on, by the way.
What's that now?
The Jared Fogle cam. Speaking of PETA, did you hear that instead that they want to get rid of Punxsutawney Phil?
No.
For Groundhog
Yeah, this
Day?
is what I'm talking about. Oh, you're crazy. I get it.
Yeah.
Now we no longer have
Well,
to
of
support
course they
you.
do,
This
right?
is what
you're,
happened.
You're having an animal work. Like, we don't need this. Let's let them do their thing. And instead, here's our compromise. We're going to send you a coin with one side reading 6 more weeks of winter and the other one saying early spring.
Yeah.
Just flip that.
Well, why don't we do that for everything? Why don't we have a Super Bowl coin?
Yeah.
One side's got the Chiefs, the other's
shit.
got the 49ers, and just flip it. Why are we risking injury?
Right. Well,
Or the Oscars. Just get a coin.
I am actually down for that. I'm actually
have a better chance at an early winter than we ever did with Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, no shit.
All right. Kyle MacLachlan and Josh Davis, our next guests, are here. Adam Ray's doing shows, man. The CHEHALIS.
Dr. Phil Live, next one with Whitney Cummings and Nikki Glazer comes out January 31st on my YouTube channel.
been killing it with us.
I've been seeing that all over the place.
You got to come through. We'll get you on one soon. Bill Burr's doing the next one February 6th. It's already sold out. Bert Kreischer and Mark Norman will be announced for the Netflix Fest in May, and then some other big dogs coming up. But that's once a month at the store. Check them out. All on my YouTube channel, where Doug, the documentary, also lives. Check it out, AdamRayComedy.com for tour dates. I'm everywhere until August.
All right, we'll talk to Kyle and Josh right after this. O'Reilly. Don't miss Do It Right deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. How long has it been since you've changed your spark plugs? Yeah, that's a good question. Replacing your spark plug can restore efficiency and performance to your vehicle. Get better gas mileage as well. And right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get a $12 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase 4 or more select AC Delco Iridium spark plugs. Maintain your performance and fuel mileage with new spark plugs from O'Reilly Auto Parts. You can also improve visibility with their new wiper blades. Right now, save $12 on a pair of Rain-X Rugged XL wiper blades. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. An extra large profile and premium features make Rugged XL blades the right choice for extreme weather and driving durability. The professional parts people will even install your new pair of wiper blades for free. From spark plugs to wiper blades and more. Save now with Do It Right deals in store at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
In honor of Jim Carolla's 92nd birthday, here's a list of all the things Adam Carolla will do before he dies. Dry shave with a machete. Just one of the things Adam will do before he dies. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
All right. We're going to talk some interesting pod here. Or beyond. Kyle MacLachlan is in the studio. Josh Davis as well. Josh, you're a documentary filmmaker and investigator, reporter, and that kind of stuff in your background.
You got it.
And Kyle, of course, known from just about every movie I remember watching.
You didn't get up much.
As a kid. Oh, man. I mean, the Doors. Oh, man. Val Kilmer. No nomination. Nuts.
No nomination. That was a crime.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I really
performance.
do.
Beautiful performance.
I
I
mean,
really like Val.
It had to be. Would he stay in character sort of in between takes and stuff?
It wasn't exactly in character, but he sort of dialed it back when he wasn't doing Jim. But he was definitely in that vibe most of the time.
And you were Ray Manzarek?
I played Ray.
And did Ray show up much and
he was there? Yeah, he was
input?
Oh, the real Ray.
Yeah.
No, Ray and Oliver had a falling out very early on in the process. I met with Ray twice on my own. Really enjoyed his company, heard the stories. He was very nice, very good guy. You know, he had a certain point of view about the band and about Jim, and who the Doors were and what the mythology was. And I think he was not pleased with how Oliver was telling that story and using that mythology to sort of tell a different story, if you know what I mean.
Well, it does become the paper of record, so to speak. Like, 99% of people who know anything about the Doors will just get it from that movie. Yeah. And I do get it when somebody, whether it's Jim Morrison or Oppenheimer or whatever, when someone goes, my dad wasn't that way, or he never did that, you go, tough, it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just go, sorry, Richard Gere put a gerbil in his ass. That's all we're doing. We're moving ahead. Done with the argument.
That's quite a leap.
It's a leap.
But isn't that true?
Yeah.
Well, now you're questioning.
I have theories, but we won't digress. But my point is I do get why, you know, if somebody said, "Oh, we're going to do a movie about the Man Show and about you and Jimmy and about how you made the Man Show or something," and I was like, "It's all wrong. It didn't work that way. That's not how it happened." You know, they went tough. That's the way we're doing it. Well, then that'll be the way it is, and then I would have feelings about it.
Yeah, and I think I think Ray did have feelings about it, and so he disassociated himself with the project.
So the podcast, Varnamtown, if I'm saying that right.
Perfect.
Interesting. And why don't you tell us about it? Because I know something about it, but I find it's very organic. It's very interesting.
Small town, rural, coastal, North Carolina. Shrimping town, very depressed, 300 people. In the early 80s, struck up a deal with Pablo Escobar to be part of the import-export scheme, actually. And they brought in a huge amount of contraband up from South America through that little town, that little port city.
And when you say the town struck up a deal.
Yeah, there was a majority of the people that were in the community were up for helping out and making this happen in return for large amounts of money.
And this is a story that you guys stumbled onto how?
I brought it to Josh. I had heard it through a friend of a friend who actually met the man Dale Varnum, in fact, who was responsible for orchestrating the deal. And I heard the stories secondhand, and then I actually went to meet him, and I was a believer. I thought, yeah, this certainly could have happened. I mean, he's a very charismatic, tall tale teller, but it was compelling enough for me to say, you know, this is at least a story to pursue. And that's when I reached out to Josh, who does this for a living. I do it as my day job, but he does it for a living. And I said, what do you think? And
I said, I don't believe any of it. I think this is just a nonsense story. How is it possible for the largest narco trafficker of the generation to do a deal with 300 people?
Right.
How do you even do that? Is it like there's a town meeting?
Right.
Right? Everybody raises their hand, like say yay or nay. I just thought it was BS, but I was intrigued. I did an initial public records search and discovered that the DEA had been extremely active in that area at that time. Major operations, major numbers of arrests. So then I was like, whoa, maybe there is something there.
Right.
And so I said, why don't we go and figure it out?
Yeah.
But it's still a pretty well-kept secret. I mean, if we're just talking about this now and it's just all just told just via word of mouth, actually, and you're just hearing it from a friend of a friend. I mean, but then you guys actually go to the town and you talk to the people there, and they seem to all kind of know about it.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody knows about it.
Yeah. It's a really small community, isolated. So there's no reason why the story, could have made
percolate out.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. And it's very insular. There.
What was the story about the plane that was actually moving a lot of the contraband?
Well, this is one of the first things we came across. We show up in this small community and say, hey, we're interested in what happened here in the 1980s. And everybody's like, oh, you want to know about REO Speedwagon? What do you mean? The mega band from the 70s and 80s? And they're like, yeah, the REO Speedwagon plane landed here, filled with drugs from Barranquilla, Colombia. This is true. And that kind of blew my mind. I was like, was the band in league with Pablo Escobar? It's just like, we don't know.
It was their touring plane?
It was their touring plane. They, it turns out, had sold it, and they had failed to remove their logo.
Oh, yeah.
From the plane.
Gotta remove the logo.
And so the plane
so
is...
did they, gut it, and just fill it with as much cocaine as they could?
When it was caught, it landed outside of Varnamtown, and it was apprehended by the DEA, and it was filled. The records say that it was filled with Quaaludes and marijuana. There was no sign, no notation of cocaine, but it was coming from Barranquilla, Colombia.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
There has to be some hidden compartments or something.
When you asked to get this REO Speedwagon story verified, did they say, I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who?
That's actually what that song's about.
Well, it's interesting because I've always studied the Whittington brothers, who are these car racing guys who bought Road Atlanta, which is a very long back straightaway on it, so they could fly drugs in and land at Road Atlanta
racetrack
to bring their drugs in. And there was anyone who watches any of that sort of cocaine cowboy stuff from the 80s, it's crazy. I mean, it's also crazy. I guess it's crazy what a large influx of money can do and how fast it can do it. You know what I mean? And how many people, everyone sits around and goes, I couldn't be bought. Like, I've learned everyone can be bought at a much cheaper price than they think.
We started to realize pretty quickly how many people had been bought back in the 80s, including most of law enforcement in the area. The police chief, the sheriff. At the same time, it wasn't true that everybody said yes. There were some holdouts.
Oh, really?
And that's what really got me interested. How do you stand up against that kind of money when it seems like everyone is in on it? They're all building houses, they're buying fancy cars, and you stand at a time when the shrimping business was depressed. Mm-hmm. So this is a lifeline.
Right.
And there was one guy in particular who stood up and said, absolutely not. This is not okay. And it ruined his life.
Well, if you're in some of these Central American, South American, Mexico, you get the choice between the silver and the lead. And so that's a tougher choice to stand up when you're just going to be executed, in a lot of these other places. In America, maybe they don't execute you.
Well, the 70s and 80s in this area, I think Roger Morton was aware of that risk. He was his life was threatened.
Yeah, and the life of his family as well.
And the life of his family. Yeah. And he continued to stand up.
Really?
Jeez.
Was he a shrimper?
He was. Yeah, he was a fisherman.
Yeah.
He had moved there from outside of Varnamtown. He was, when they say outside, he was about a little over 100 miles away. Mm-hmm. And so that qualified him as an outsider. And he had moved there to fish. Mm-hmm. Because he wanted to live that lifestyle, only to realize that this kind of beautiful Edenic place that he had moved to had a dark underside.
And what did they need everyone to do other than shut up?
That's the primary one.
Yeah, that was the primary. Also, they were using the shrimp boats to ferry the contraband off of what they call the mothership, which were the freighters that would anchor offshore. Mm-hmm. And they needed to be able to transport that back to the mainland and repeat the visit. And then they need people that would take it from the docks and load it into the tractor trailers from which it would be sent out
all over the country.
All over the country, yeah.
The eastern seaboard.
How many years did they get away with this?
Well, there was quite a big twist to the story that we didn't know, which is that somebody turned in over 300 people in the late 80s to the authorities. Mm-hmm. Somebody turned state's witness within the community and shut it down. I think because there was a feeling that it had gotten out of hand, right? It turned brother against brother. It turned families against families, and this little community that had been together for generations was being torn apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a dead tale from the Bible kind of thing. It's not a new thing. It's old. You you can never pull this one off without the outcome is really known before you begin. It can go no other way. It has to end up being this. But yet we'll embark on that journey.
One thing that blew me away about it that was different than the biblical story and different than the stories we're used to is that when Kyle and I showed up, everybody's still friends. They don't hold ill will towards each other. That business with Escobar, the drug business in general as it was formulated at the time, went away. And they went back to being friends.
Well, that's good.
The community is beautiful. They have an Isaiah festival. You should go.
Sounds wonderful.
You would love it.
Grand Marshal.
You in particular. You should be the Grand
running.
Marshal.
3 years running.
Man, oh man.
That's why we had you guys in.
Yeah, I knew.
I thought we were going to talk azaleas. Yeah.
You were just waiting.
Yeah. So this went on for years. Somebody dropped a dime, and it must have shut down pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Like that.
Yeah.
Were there any murders, any of that?
There was talk of a number of killings, but the people that we spoke to said that in general the community had stayed relatively tight. They started to hate each other. They started to fray. It then got cut off all of a sudden, and they went back to being close-knit, quiet, happy, content.
Was this a geographical thing, meaning they can get there from where the drugs are? I can't picture it, but I mean, was it?
Yeah, a little bit. It was helped by the fact that a lot of inlets and waterways, making it sort of difficult. If you had something you wanted to hide, you could easily do that. So tucked away and off the beaten track, difficult to get to, isolated.
It was also the northern limit of how far the REO Speedwagon plane could fly from Barranquilla, Colombia, without refueling.
Ah, right. That's interesting.
So they drew on a map and kind of looked around the radius and like, what's that spot on the map?
Right, because this is the range of our REO Speedwagon jet.
And the result is they found this place that was very isolated, very cut off. And when Kyle first started telling me about it, I was like, oh, this feels very Twin Peaksy. It feels, like this bucolic community.
Yeah.
But you scratch the surface,
Right.
And there's some weird stuff under there.
Yeah.
Have you guys been reached out to for like optioning this story? I mean, I'd watch the HBO series tomorrow.
Sold. Yeah,
just like that. Just beginning. Things are just beginning.
The show just started last week. It just came out. We've been working on it for a number of years now.
Yeah.
And it just debuted last week.
Yeah.
And I should tell people available wherever you find Finer podcasts.
Yeah.
I just put Finer in there because when I was a kid and I'd watch those game shows, they'd say, you can find, Botany 500 Sport Coats, wherever you find Finer, which is like a Woolworths or Zodi's or something. But they shove Finer.
Yeah.
Back where I grew up, that was Finer.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Yakima, Washington, a little town on the eastern side of Washington.
Oh, Yakima.
Yeah.
That must have been pretty rural back then.
It was pretty rural. Lots of fruit ranching, wheat farming, that kind of thing.
The drive from Spokane to Tacoma, we passed through there.
Amazing.
You drove from Spokane to Tacoma?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you went by.
Yeah.
And not much acting going on there,
Not
right?
much acting at all there. I went to school at the U at Seattle, and that's where it all started to happen. But no, high school stuff when I was a kid, junior high and high school, I enjoyed it. And we had, in my school, we had a big musical and a spring play that we would do. So
and you would be in.
And I would be in those and enjoyed it. Very social activity to do. Everybody participated. So it went from the jocks to the stoner. Every clique was part of that. So that was a
Did your parents have some designs on what you should be doing or shouldn't be doing when you were younger?
Nothing that they really enforced on us. They just encouraged us to follow what we wanted to do. I think my dad had a different experience growing up, and so he made it clear that he said, no, you guys are going to do what you want to do, follow your own path, and he'll encourage us as best he can.
What business was he in?
He graduated as a lawyer. He practiced law for about 3 years, hated it, and became a stockbroker, actually, and loved that.
And you had success pretty relatively early, right?
I did. Out of school, not a year, and I was cast in Dune. They found me in Seattle and cast me as Paul in the first Dune. And that started in 1983.
And it's pretty much filled calendar since then, right?
Pretty good, yeah. Dune to Blue Velvet to The Hidden and Twin Peaks, and that started things to roll, Twin Peaks.
Yeah, so Blue Velvet was... What's his name?
Oh, Dennis Hopper. Isabella Rossellini, Laura Dern.
Yeah, I was trying to think who directed it.
Oh, David Lynch.
David Lynch,
right. Yeah.
That was a real breakthrough, that film.
Yeah.
It was... I mean, it was the first of a kind of a genre, I guess.
Yeah.
Those films didn't really exist before then, especially in the 80s. It was like Mannequin and stuff, or, stuff where guys would fall in love with mannequins and they'd come to life,
Splash.
Yeah, Splash. Like, it was the big sort of themey comedies and whatever, but that movie was different.
Yeah, certainly American film. And David Lynch, the American surrealist, the premier, I think, American surrealist filmmaker. And that was his early on in his career. He'd done Eraserhead. He'd done...
Oh, he did Eraserhead.
Yeah, Elephant Man. He had done, and then Dune, which was a departure, and then Blue Velvet, which is back to...
Eraserhead was just one of the first cult classics. I mean, there's a handful of I don't know if they'll even have them anymore, but they were cult films. And I don't even know what Eraserhead... Well, the guy had a head like an eraser. I mean, a hair like an eraser.
That's true.
But I don't even really remember what it was other than weird.
Yeah, no, just a series of images. And, David's movies his whole thing is he's not there to tell you what it is. You're there to experience it. And that's how you go through his films. So the story itself is less important than whatever feelings it brings up in you.
So being directed by... him and Oliver Stone and Paul Verhoeven for Showgirls.
Yeah.
So that has to be like the Mount Rushmore of crazy directors, right? I mean, all very different, all very effective.
Yeah.
But all kind of bordering sort of lunacy.
Three of the four, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
All different.
That's what I'm saying.
Completely different personalities. But all brilliant, and as an actor, absolutely people you dream to work with. At least I do.
Yeah, Showgirls is an insane movie, but if you... And I don't know what you would feel about it if you saw it for the first time in the theater, but later on when you watch it, you realize it's good that this was made. And because it's a crazy movie, and it feels culty with a budget though. But I've seen it multiple times. I love that movie, and the Doors. After I saw the Doors, I was almost haunted a little bit. Like I felt different when I was left the theater. Like there's only a handful of movies where you leave and you go, I feel different than I did when I came in.
Yeah.
You feel like somewhere like a little high, like a little changed, a little like I'd like to know more about this story, like probably bought a Doors live CD or something just because it was impactful. Yeah.
And doing it was the same. The concert sequences in particular, Bob Richardson shot those. And I felt like I was at a concert when I was watching the film and also when we were there filming. We were at a concert. I mean, there were 3,000 or 4,000 people there for the full day, and at the end of the night, people would go home gradually, and the floor of the auditorium was littered with bottles, drug paraphernalia, clothing. People had sex on the... I mean, it was...
These weren't props.
These were not props that they came in with. Or maybe they came in with them. Yeah. And they were at a concert, and it felt like it.
Yeah.
Did you have to sort of learn some keyboard?
I did. I mean, I grew up playing the piano.
Oh, you did?
And so I just learned by ear the songs that we were going to play. The problem, Oliver kept changing the songs that he wanted us to play. So I would learn a song, and then he'd say, well, no, that's no longer going to be in the film. You got to learn this one. I'm like, it's not that easy.
Right.
I'll do my best. So, but I managed to learn most of them.
But now you could be in a tribute band.
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
I'd have to wear the mutton chops and the...
So were you guys sort of performing live?
We were performing live. Yeah, we were to playback, but I knew the songs. Dylan, who was on the drums, he got the drum part. Frank Whaley played the guitar. He didn't learn to play the guitar, but he faked it well. But occasionally we would be in studio, and Robbie Krieger would come and sit in, and Val would come, and we managed to kick out 3 or 4 songs just on our own with Robbie there.
You mean new songs, new Door songs?
That's exactly what I meant. And you can get those now.
And I guess it's a new world where everyone just gets to sort of pursue what they want to pursue in terms of, podcast or check out a story. I don't know. People had to stay in their lane. You're an actor. You're a musician.
Right.
You're a journalist. Now everything is sort of commingling, and everyone is just kind of doing what's next, what they want.
So many opportunities, right? I mean, this is a great way to tell a story without having to spend the kind of money you would spend if it were a TV show or a film. Like I said, it's this little tiny crew. We went down, interviewed people for about 6 days, and then, assemble it, which is that's the challenging part.
And Josh, where are we at with the journalism these days? Because I hear people arguing over it all the time. I just heard Bill Maher was arguing with Seth MacFarlane. What's sad for me is when you're friends with everybody and you go, "Oh, come on, fellas, what are we arguing about here? We're all rich. What are we doing here?" But your friends are having arguments. And, Seth sort of saying, you should believe journalists, and Bill Maher saying, hey, and I don't. And now where are we at?
I feel like it's the result of other things, right? That the business model for journalism switched when everything went digital, right? Mm-hmm. It used to be that you would have ads in print, and you had the classifieds in print, and that sustained a lot of local journalism. Mm-hmm. And when Craigslist came along and banner ads took over the print ads, the money went away, and there was no longer that local journalism, and it kind of bubbles up from there, that foundation of local reporting that then scales up to national reporting and international reporting. The foundation's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the LA Times just laid off a bunch of people
last week.
I mean, they've been, in the paper. I've lived here my whole life, so it's always been check the Times and find out what's happening. And now we're living in some alternative universe. And I think, but I'd be curious in both your perspectives on this, which is, I think you now have to find a handful of voices that you think are accurate and who have been consistent and have said things like, I've been wrong in the past about this, or I shouldn't have voted for that guy, but I changed my mind the next time around or something. Usually there's some intellectual honesty in saying you made a mistake or you're changing your view on some subject. And then you follow about 6 or 8 of these people, and when a subject comes up, you go, what are they saying about the subject? It could be a Bill Maher, and it could be someone on Substack, and it could be someone on CNN, but I'm just mean, like, have a little orbit of a little galaxy of stars of people who've been sort of consistent and accurate. And then when the next thing comes down the pike, check in with them. I don't know any other way to do it now.
I try to read everything across the spectrum. So yes. I read the left, I read the right. I don't know if there's a center anymore. I read the two sides, and I try to kind of triangulate the truth almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that, but I think the problem is it's hard to triangulate if someone says 2 and 2 is 5 and the other says 2 and 2 is 3. Yeah. I mean, maybe you do triangulate and end up with 4, but they got so far apart. For me now, it's hard to do the triangulation. I like people in general who jumped ship. I like people who used to be this and are now that, and they used to work on here, but now they quit and work there. Like I found there's more intellectual honesty, at least, when people jump ship, but you never know. But there's still, I think there's some accurate voices out there, or at least there's sort of sober takes. Like there are people where you go, that person has pretty balanced opinions on whatever, because a rally is like, Ukraine, the Ukrainian war. What the fuck? How would you know? How do I know? I have no, there's just no way of me having a gut instinct or woman's intuition or anything about subjects of that nature.
I think you've seen, like, the news has suffered, the kind of the day-to-day fast news, but something that doesn't get talked about as much that's very rare now is that deep dive, that investigative work that nobody can afford anymore. So you're not seeing people going and really trying to understand somebody's point of view, where they're coming from, who's their family, who are their friends, why did they make the decisions they're making. There's less and less of that in journalism, and I actually feel that it's really important and needs to be there, and I don't actually know the solution, but it's missing.
They are offering, I mean, you can find it, a deep dive, but they offer it extra subscription, and you have to pay this, and, if you want to know more, that kind of thing. That's what I see.
Yeah, it also worries me when you hear stories about some, oh God, her name escapes me, but she's the one who had the dust up with the morning show, and her boyfriend took off and they got fired. It was a couple months back. She was dating her coworker and on air, whatever. She's a beautiful blonde woman. I can't think of her name, but it'll come to us. It was all over the tabloids a few months back. Anyway, she was lamenting, like on a hot mic, that she had this Epstein. She had all the stuff on Epstein, and they killed the story, and then you're like, who killed the story? And it's like NBC corporate said, and you're like, she'd gathered all this information 3 or 4 years ago.
Amy Roback,
yeah, and they told her, nah, we're not getting into that. And then you're sort of like, is it because they think she doesn't have enough information, or is it because they're protecting people, or they owe favors, or people owe, have stuff on them? Like, why? Way too much of that going on in recent history for me. So I think you do the deeper dive, you find those voices.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. That's why we went to Varnamtown.
That's why you went to Varnamtown.
Joshua goes to wars.
Yes,
that's right.
No, God. So let me give it a plug. Varnamtown, new pod. It's available wherever you listen to finer podcasts. Finer podcast. Yeah. And thanks, you guys, for coming in and hanging out. This is kind of interesting conversation, and I'm very interested in hearing the podcast now.
Cool. I'm glad.
Yeah, we don't. There's kind of a mystery. What was Pablo Escobar's actual involvement? That's the question we try to answer.
Pablo Escobar was this great character because it's like the people loved him because he built them a soccer field. It's like, wow.
Did you hear about his hippo collection?
The people could be bought. Yeah. He had a hippo collection. He built soccer fields, and he blew up a commercial airliner as well. God, what?
It was a big life.
It was a big life.
Yeah. And hippos are like an invasive species out there now.
That's right.
They are.
They can't control it.
Yeah. Oh, we got into the hippo story not too many years ago. All right. I'll be in Naples, Florida this Friday and Saturday. I think all the shows are sold out, but we added a Saturday matinee. So if you want to come on out for that. And you can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. And until next time, this is Adam. For Josh Davis and Kyle MacLachlan and Adam Ray and Chris Maxbata saying mahalo.